Hey everybody, just hang in. We're just getting set up. We should be on the air any second now. Thank you.
Let's just spread for just $9.99 per person. Kids ages 12 and under are just $6.99 for this weekly deal. It runs until 1 p.m. Roll out, get early, or join us late. We'll be ready when you are at Traditions Restaurant with Sunday's Breakfast Buffet.
From the Cocoa Weather Center, the Warrensburg forecast, sunny today, high near 63. Northeasterly wind at 5 to 9 miles an hour. Mostly clear tonight, low 36. East-northeast wind around 6 miles an hour. Sunny skies tomorrow, high of 60. East wind 5 to 8 miles an hour. Then Wednesday night, we have a slight chance of showers after 1 a.m., mostly cloudy. A low of 42. Chance of showers on Thursday. Cloudy skies, high near.
Right now, here in Warrensburg, it's sunny and 44 degrees. Here at KOKO, it's time now for Nolan Brooks. How do you introduce yourself now, Nolan Brooks? On your website, it says what?
On my
Facebook page.
On my Facebook page, it's Nolan Brooks, Army veteran and Realtor.
There you go. That's the guy right there, folks. How you doing, Nolan?
Yes, if you want to find me on Facebook, that's where you go look.
Remax United's where he is employed as a real estate salesperson.
Yes, sir. So, everyone in the office, we're actually part of the National Association of Realtors. So, Realtor is frequently used as a generic term, but it's really actually a specific term for people who are part of the National Association.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So, technically and legally, and the National Association has taken quite a few people to court, apparently, for using the Realtor title when they hadn't earned it. And we have national standards that we have to maintain, where if someone said, not part of the National Association of Realtors, they can kind of do
so somebody who
the minimum. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Now I could be a real estate agent, but I would not be a realtor.
Not necessarily. So, the state of Missouri has its minimum standards, and then the National Association of Realtors, who's set up additional ethical guidelines that we have to maintain and ensure that we follow. So,
do you have classes and courses and things you take to get there to keep that up?
Oh, of course, yeah. Every year we have, I think it's 12 hours. 12 hours. Not correction. Every 2 years we have 12 hours of mandatory training. But at my office we have additional training every Tuesday. Actually, right after I leave here, I'm going to go and do probably 2 or 3 hours of additional training with my office. And on top of that, I spend.
You do this online or just in the office?
This is in the office. Okay. So Brian Jacobs, my broker, he brings us all in on Tuesday morning. We can kind of share problems. And he frequently brings in outside speakers. We have several training modules that we go through because we really do want to get the best quality product out there. And yes, the houses is the product that we're presenting, but really the product that matters is the service that we provide.
I was going to say, you're talking service here, aren't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Service is really the product we provide.
Yeah.
The houses is just we're going to help you find your home, but it's how we help do it that matters the most, and how do we take care of you even after that the sale.
Do you ever sometimes feel there's a conflict of interest when you're working with the seller and the buyer, or is that not ever a problem?
Woody, that is an outstanding question. Every year in Missouri, we're required to take ethical training, and that is a big part of what issues we discuss and what we try to clarify when we're doing our training. Because there are so many situations in business in general, not just real estate, that can get real sticky. So our office, there's certain kind of agencies that our office doesn't do. So generally, so I'm going to give you a quick class on agency. So if you have a hard time sleeping, maybe you want to record this, put it on your phone, play it back later tonight to the sultry sounds of my soothing voice. So you have buyer's agency, which is when you're representing the buyer.
Right.
You have seller's agency. That's when you represent the seller.
Right.
You have dual agency, where you represent both sides. And our office doesn't do dual agency. The reason we don't do that is because when you're representing the buyer, you should tell that buyer anything and everything that would materially affect his purchase.
And if you represent both sides, you can't do that, can you?
Right. So, same with the seller. If I'm representing my seller and the buyer tells me something, I'm legally required to share that information with my seller because I represent the seller at that time.
Right.
When you have a dual agency and you're representing both, suddenly it gets you in this quagmire of, well, what do I share, what do I not?
Yeah.
So what our office does instead of dual agency is we do transaction broker. So let's say I've been working with you and I've been working with someone else. They want to buy your house.
Mm-hmm.
Before we even get to that point, we will have already had a conversation about this. And then once we come back, get actually into that situation, I'll remind both parties. I'll say, listen, you want to sell your house. He wants to buy your house. Normally, I would be giving you the advice you need, or I would be advising you and advocating on your behalf if they weren't my client. But because I have a fiduciary obligation to both of you, I'm going to take a step back. Anything you tell me over here stays between us. Anything he tells me stays over there. And I'm going to facilitate the transaction, but I'm not going to advocate for either side. Are you okay with that? And before I move forward, I'm going to make sure everyone's on board, everyone's okay. Because it's so important to make sure everyone's tracking. Make sure everyone's on board, because what you don't want is you get, almost to close, and someone says, wait, what do you mean? You're not on my side anymore. Why didn't you tell me this or that?
Yeah.
We discussed this. This is a situation.
Okay.
So,
a good question. Huh?
Yeah, it was a great question. It was a great question. Much better than the one I had.
Did you have, I think I see some listings there on the table in front of you. Is that what you have there?
Yes, sir.
You have time for that or not?
Oh,
we got 6 minutes or better yet.
For you, Woody, I always have time.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
So, we have a new agent in the office, Laura Lockhart. She's been doing a great job, and she has a new listing here in Warrensburg. It's at 362 Northeast 51st Road, and it is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it's listed for $199. If you're interested in taking a look at it, please give me a call. My phone number is 816-805-3306. We can set up a showing for you, and we can help you get into your new home.
Is that's out in the county, is it? Or not? I don't know where that is.
Yeah, this one is, hold on, let me...
51st Road?
Let me make sure I'm right before I speak.
Okay. Go ahead. Check it out. You have directions there?
It's out in the county.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it was outside of city limits. So yes, that'd be out in the county, so Johnson County.
Okay.
We have
4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, $199.
That's right.
Okay.
On 3/4 of an acre.
Okay.
So
cool.
Now that's a lot of grass to mow, but man, it's nice to have the option.
Yes, it is.
We have another listing just outside of Warrensburg in Centerview at 503 Northwest 165th Road, 165th Street in Centerview, and it's on 5 acres, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's listed for $135.
Okay.
So, if you're looking for a place maybe to have a few horses, have a horse or two, get a little bit of distance from you and your neighbor, I think this would be a great listing for you.
You say 5 acres?
5 acres. Great googly moogly. I have so many people looking for small acreage right now.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Is that about a right size that people would be looking for, is 5 acres, or are they looking for more than that? Is that pretty good acreage enough for somebody who has horses?
If you're looking for something like a project farm, just to keep you busy, have a good time, run around on 4-wheelers, 5 acres will be plenty.
Okay.
I see some people who go a little bit higher. They try to look for maybe 10 acres, but 3 to 5 seems to be in the sweet spot.
Okay.
The important thing about having 3 or more in the county is it allows you to have a septic tank, so you don't have to have a lagoon.
Okay.
That's kind of the magic number. Once you get over 3, you're good to go. And a lot of people like having the option of having a septic tank.
All right.
And you can do a lot with 3 acres. It's quite a bit of space.
Yeah, it is. Of course, I think what we have where the radio station sits is like, ooh, golly, this is right at 1 acre, I think, here. Might be 2, I'm not sure. I think it was either 1 or 2.
I've always been curious with a rate, because you have the big antenna. Does it have to be bigger than the antenna can reach if it falls over? Because with airports it's like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
With airport, I think KCI
if it falls
has
over, heaven forbid.
Yeah, heaven forbid, right? But KCI has something like 10,000 acres. That's just open, like it's farmland. They have people hunting on it with bows, no guns,
no bullets.
Yeah, no bullets out there. But but yeah, you get into all kinds of, like around Knob Noster. That's a great example.
Oh yeah, there's a certain area around Whiteman.
Within a certain area of Whiteman, for instance, when you sell a home, you have to disclose that you're in a, I don't think hazard area is quite right, but basically the disclosure says,
I know what you're saying, and I can't remember what the word is either. There's a word that fits that.
Yeah, so you have to disclose the sound from the planes that are going to be flying over, and the possibility that they may or may not drop a bomb on you on accident, which is, I don't know, makes life exciting to me.
Yeah. I see here where you've got written down there, question of the day. We haven't gotten to that yet. Do you have a question of the day today?
I do, but I don't think I can answer it in 30 seconds. So
you got a minute. You got a minute and a half.
So Mary Bird asks, how can I plan for utilities for my new home? And the short answer for that is, before you purchase a home, you should contact your utility companies, and they can give you the average utility cost for that house for the last 12 months.
Nice to know.
Yeah, very nice to know, because it helps to be able to budget for that. The thing you have to keep in mind, though, is that if the house has been empty for 3-4 months or a year, that utility cost could be significantly lower than or sorry, the utility cost that they tell you may be significantly lower than the cost that you're going to have with someone actually living there.
Yeah, quite likely it will be.
So I guess I can answer that in a minute. All right.
You won't have the heat turned up quite as much if it's in winter time, or you want to have the air conditioner on if it's in the summer.
Right.
It'll make a difference.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
If nobody's living there.
Yeah.
You would.
A lot of homeowners, if they're not going to be in the house, especially during the winter, they'll leave the heater on, but at the very bottom, just to keep the pipes from freezing. That kind of thing. Or if they completely weatherize it, then there won't be any utilities on.
Did we get everything covered today?
I'd like to think
we probably could never get everything covered that we want to talk about. I see the last thing on your list here.
So you can find me at Nolan Brooks, Army veteran at oh God, I can't even
try it again.
You can find me on Facebook at Nolan Brooks, Army veteran and Realtor. You can give me a call at 816-805-3306.
There you go. Thanks, Noel, very much.
Thank you so much.
What he had on his list here was say goodbye. Okay, goodbye, Noel.
It's the little things that hang me up.
We'll see you next week. Nolan Brooks with Remax United.
Best oldies and the most fun. Good time oldies. 1450 KOKO. Warrensburg. 1450 KOKO.
Can we hit finish on
Did
that?
they finally find the
Where's it at?
journalist?
Just on the bottom right.
I'm Dave Anthony.